Hello, the domestic ginger here. Today we're going to be making pizza soup. And let me tell you, it's amazing. A lot of people have said kind of to it. I give them my recipe. They make it. They love it. This is everything that you'll need. The toppings, use any toppings that you would on a regular pizza. If you like Hawaiian, throw in ham and pineapples. But in here, we have a pound of ground sausage, mild, and then a pound of beef. Then we have a half onion, one large tomato, and one green pepper chopped up. And then we have a bag of pepperoni, and that's for the toppings. We also have sourdough bread. Usually I use French bread. If there's no French bread, I use Italian. But because my town was actually hit pretty hard with Hurricane Matthew, our stores have been scarce of a lot of ingredients. I actually had to go to a few different stores just to get all this. And then you're also going to need to put some water in. And yes, because of the storm, we can't drink our water, so I have to use bottled water. Your base is going to be tomato soup and tomato paste. And then you're also going to add in your seasonings. I do not use salt because the amount of cheese that we're going to put in, it's salty enough. And yes, you're going to need a lot of cheese. I think I might need to use more than this. Alright, you start off putting your burner at like a medium high heat. I suggest medium so it's not splattering everywhere. And then you put in your 2 containers of tomato soup, the family size. And then also 6 ounces of the paste. Alright, I had to turn the big light on. Then once that's in there, you add probably about a cup of water. Mix it around, let the paste mix into it. You're probably going to add more water later too. Okay, now I use the big pot because sometimes it splatters and I don't want it to get everywhere. And plus I like to make a big batch so that it lasts for a couple days. Once you gave that a minute to get all nice and bubbly, you put in your onions, peppers, and your tomatoes. And stir that up really good. Okay, it's all stirred up. And then now you're going to want to put in your spices. I would say tablespoon of each. Maybe a little more. It all depends on you, how much you like. Oh, actually, you know what? I totally forgot one thing. I like to add spinach to this, so I'm gonna prepare that in a minute. All right, that's pepper. So I did the pepper, the parsley, the basil, and the oregano. And now lots of garlic for me. You may think that's too much, but oh, trust me, it's not. All right, and then you mix that up and let it cook. All right, I'm gonna reduce the heat a little bit down to 4 so that it can kind of simmer. And I don't know if you can hear all the screaming in the background, but my daughter has a friend over and they're going crazy. I'm not sure what they're playing, but it sounds fun. Alright, so I am probably going to cut up maybe about a half a cup to 3/4 of a cup of spinach. Make sure to always keep stirring because you don't want it to burn at the bottom of the pot. It'll taste nasty if that happens. But let this cook just like this for, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 minutes. Taste it, see if you need more spices or want more spices. I'm actually going to add a little bit of sugar to tone down the acidity in it because I have acid reflux, and while I love all this stuff, it doesn't love me. So the sugar helps just a little bit. I'm probably going to put in like, I don't know, just a tablespoon of it. Okay, so I'm going to reduce the heat down to 2 just a little bit. So yeah, because it keeps bubbling more. Just keep stirring it. I added another tablespoon of each spice except for the pepper. And now is a good time to put in your pepperoni. I think I'm gonna do like 3/4 of the package. Okay, make sure to do it one by one. And then after you throw in like a handful or whatever, stir it up a little bit because the pepperonis tend to stick. And you don't want the, like when you spoon it out for yourself, you don't want like 95% pepperoni. You know what I mean? Unless you like that. Okay, so the girls are in the dining room playing on the computer, so we're gonna hear lots of girly noises. Alright, so once you have your pepperoni in, add another cup of water, and then add in 4 cups of sharp cheddar cheese, or you can use mozzarella, pizza blend, whatever. Make sure to stir it in real good, and you'll notice that it'll thicken it up, which is what you want because this is going to be very hearty and delicious. Okay, I turned the heat up a little bit to medium, and you gotta wait for the cheese to melt, and you'll see that it'll turn to like an orange color instead of red. Once it's orange, then it's basically right. Unless you want or need less cheese, then the redder the better. I actually added another cup of cheese, so there's 5 in here. My boyfriend actually came out a minute ago too, and he said, "Oh, it smells so good in here. It smells like pizza." This is the first pizza soup of the season. It's starting to get into the mid-70s here, so it's cool enough. Alright, so now you're going to want to add the meat. Alright, once your meat's in, stir it up nice and good. If it looks too thick to you, just add a little bit more water. Yeah, so I'm going to do a little bit. And then you're also going to want to taste it again. Make sure the spices is right, or are right, sorry. Make sure everything is to taste for your pleasure. And always make sure to keep stirring. You're also going to want to preheat your oven to 375. Oops. And then come over here and grab your, well, my sourdough. I prefer Italian, or, well, French bread. Okay, so I took the sourdough, I laid it all out on a tray, and then I put cheese on top. Once the oven is preheated, you throw them in. Your soup should be done after probably less than 5 minutes after putting the meat in and stirring it up. I've already divvied it out, and I'm putting some in a storage bowl because with this still being hot, I didn't want it to end up burning on the bottom. So make sure you put it in a container that can take heat, like metal. And not plastic, because it will melt, because this is actually really hot. You hear the girls? They're having fun. Okay, so they were in the oven for about 7 minutes. Once the cheese is melted and the edges start to brown just a tiny bit, that means they're done. So now we have pizza soup. You take the breaded cheese, well, I don't want to touch it now because it's too hot. You know, and you dip it in the soup, and it's all nice and hearty and delicious. Thank you for tuning in. This is the domestic ginger, and I hope you enjoy your hearty pizza soup. Have a good one.